Yeah, he didn't say anything. He just kept asking me why he would do something like that. But, Victoria, something just doesn't feel right. I know it. I'll meet you back at the library, okay? Bye. Courtney. Hey. Observing the wildlife? Hey, you remembered. And, yeah, the owls in this area just love to fly around at this hour. Well, sorry for disturbing you. Night. Wait. Yeah? What owls are you observing? Oh, you know, the owls with the multicolored feathers? The brown and white ones? Oh, yeah. I thought the owls in this area were extinct. What? Yeah, they became extinct in this area before we were born. So, werewolf watching? What are you talking about? Courtney, something feels off, don't you think? Not really, actually, because I don't know what you're talking about. Courtney, but you do. You're a part of them. Mason, I'm not even a vampire. Wow, you're really on point today with your accusations. I mean, first it's your dad and now me. So you were eavesdropping. Well, now that there's nothing to hide, yeah, I was. Why would you care about the diary if you're human? You're right. Why would I care? Well, it's because I knew too much. Too much about... everything. The only reason why I'm telling you this is because I have no other reason to keep talking to any of you and covering up my tracks. What do you mean by that? You were the first one that knew something was wrong, and I'll give you credit. But I have everything that I need. From what? Various chats, actions, and analyzation. Spread the word, Mason. I don't care anymore. What are you going to do? You'll find out soon enough. No, I won't, because we will find out. Find out what? The Wallace diary is back in its rightful place, so what are you worried about? I don't want the book in the wrong hands, and who knows, maybe the same person who took the diary is going to take it again. Mason, I wouldn't worry about a thing. You know why? Because there's no reason for you to be looking for it anymore. All the people in this town care about is the historic artifact being protected, only caring about the outside while not even acknowledging what is on the inside. Courtney, how did you get mixed up in this? I already told you. I knew too much. Why would the vampires care about what you know? They care if it involved a way to blackmail someone. What? Apparently, someone saw that I had been hanging out with Lydia, a human, while her other friends were vampires. A year later, after I confronted Lydia at her house about her secret, a vampire approached me. They told me that, with her secret, we can blackmail Lydia to give us the diary back. I asked what was in it for me, and they said they'd pay me. However, we realized that she or any of you would not just hand it over. After that, they said they needed more people and asked me if I wanted to be a part of them. They didn't care that I was human. Courtney, they could just be using you for information. Oh, I know they could, and have been. But like I said, I knew too much, and the vampires couldn't risk the exposure from the mortals. That was the real reason they wanted me on their team, not for blackmailing Lydia. To make sure that you wouldn't tell anyone about vampires? Precisely, but I've grown to enjoy their team, actually. Courtney, what are you getting out of this? There's no point. Like I said, Mason, soon enough you'll all understand. So, that's the real reason why Courtney's on their team? Yeah, and it doesn't seem like she wants out, or even can. So technically, she's being blackmailed? Yeah, technically she is actually. Luckily, no one can take the diary from the safe. There are countless of spells surrounding it, which will make it impossible for an unknown source to steal it again. But do we know that for sure? Hey, Victoria? Yeah? You asked Scott Wallace to guide you toward the diary, right? Maybe he knows who took it. We could ask him. Hey, that's a great idea. Should we try it? Let's do it. Okay. Oh my... I see you found my diary and stored it away? We did. I disagree. I don't think that will suffice. What do you mean? My diary has caused nothing but trouble for the last century. Mr. Wallace, do you know anyone who took the diary that night? Maybe we can find them, and that can fix all of this. It wouldn't matter. They won't cooperate. What? Please, it would help tremendously. Time is frozen at this moment because I think you would rather be alone when I tell you this. The night my diary was stolen out of the library and the werewolves were running back, they didn't stop. Or at least your father didn't. Sir, are you sure this is alright with Stevens? I mean, what if he calls the mayor? Don't think that way. Stevens should not keep this. He should not have had it in the first place. I don't care if you can cast spells that will save this thing, and I don't care if the spirit of Scott Wallace can even protect it. We deserve this. Sir, it's starting to rain. We need to get going. If anyone asks, we left a note. Of course. Sir, I still don't think. Keep going. Everyone spread out. Those vampires could be anywhere. What about the diary? I know a place. Keep them distracted and I'll be right behind you. After that, you can probably guess. He buried it in Victoria's backyard? Yes. Your theory was right. He just wanted it back so the vampires wouldn't take it? My dad underestimates them. They're powerful and some can't help being controlled on that one day. There's one other thing I need to tell you. What? Yes, that diary has caused more harm than good. Please, Mason, you must burn it. All of your life's work. I know, but it has to be done. But before you do, I need you to give this page to Lydia. It's an excerpt from my diary. I thought she might want it, but please, Mason, tell the others. When do you want us to get rid of it? Before the next full moon. But disposing of the diary will cause chaos between the werewolves and vampires. What about the yearly spell? It simply won't exist anymore. There will be no need to protect the diary, which will be better for everyone in the long run. Mason! Guys, I'm okay. He just talked to me and he confirmed it. My dad stole the book from the library. He didn't even leave anything to say it. He just took it and left. Oh my. But there's one other thing. He wants us to burn the book. What? I know, but he said that it has been causing more harm than good, and once we burn it, there will be no need for the yearly spell and all this pointless fighting. I can see his reasoning, but how are we going to get it back from the mayor? I mean, Cole, Victoria, and Melissa did just give it to him to put it in the safe. If we decide to burn it. Mr. Stevens, what do you mean? Scott Wallace is right. Why would we burn something that has been a historical artifact for centuries? The book has countless spells and is a treasure of this town. So then that whole year we wasted looking for the diary was a waste, huh? We could have just burned it. Did you four really need to do your research? Apparently it was important, because the diary would have never been left on Victoria's doorstep. The diary was useful towards us years ago, Mr. Stevens. We never would have known all this without it, but Scott Wallace has a point. I mean, wouldn't it be nice to end this once and for all? If we burn it, the vampires will kill us. Maybe even the werewolves also. Because this book is a guaranteed protection for a year. They wouldn't give that up. No creature would. But I thought the spell guaranteed protection of the diary for a year. It was. After you kids left to college, the werewolves thought of also using the power of the diary by casting a yearly protection spell on not only the book, but also themselves. And you let them? What could I do? They would tear me apart if I said no. Why would my dad not tell me this? Your dad didn't tell you this? No, and why would he? I was away at college, and he would have said I have no business in this while I'm gone. So what do we do? How can we make both sides come to a truce? Zach, your dad is the leader of the vampires, right? And Mason, your dad is the leader of the werewolves? What if somehow we convince them? I could try. Yeah, same here. Good thinking, kid. So I guess I don't need to be filled in? Sheriff Foster? I don't think so, Sheriff. With all due respect, Deputy and Sheriff, is it really a crime to burn a diary? No, unless it's a historical artifact. It's property, Zach. How much have you heard? Enough to know that you want to burn the diary. What if the owner said we could? The owner? Who? Scott Wallace? If we had proof that he said yes to the destruction of the diary, would it be okay? Sure, kid. If a man who has been dead for over 30 years comes back to life telling the chief of police to let you kids destroy a town artifact, then give me a call. But until then, you kids aren't destroying anything. So you want my permission? What the heck? Let them destroy my book. This town has gone through enough. Destroying the book will end the fight. But have both the vampires and werewolves after us demanding it back. I will be there when you need me. Don't worry. It's no longer a historical artifact, Sheriff. Once the town has no reason to keep it around, and I signed this book over to them. They are in charge of it. Thank you for watching it, and the mayor, but it's their turn now to do what's right. What? Sir, I think we need to go to City Hall. It's no longer ours to take care of. It's theirs. Everyone, let's go. Lydia. Scott Wallace wanted me to give this to you. What is it? It's a reverse enchantment from his diary. He wants you to look at it. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. Courtney! Why weren't you here? What are you talking about? Because of you being missing, I couldn't leave the premises. So, are you like my bodyguard now? Oh, I am far from it. Because of you, Clark could only leave. The boss wants me to keep you safe and out of harm's way, but really, you're the one causing the trouble. Look, Hazel, it's not my fault that you can't leave. Actually, it is. Look. The boss stopped me from going. What? Yeah, he said I would be outnumbered and that he couldn't risk any more vampire injuries, but apparently the diary is still at City Hall with countless spells casted on the safe. Great. Why don't I just convince your boss to let you two out? I think you've done enough. Okay, what's going on? I would like to know as well. Courtney, I would like to see you for a moment. I gave Mason the warning, even though you told me to do it in a few days. I would rather you have it do it sooner rather than later. What's your next move? It has been difficult to say, but I don't know how long we can plan. We need to act now. Come in. Sir, you have visitors outside. They said they need to speak with you. What do you want? Please, we don't want trouble. Of course you do. What is it? Did your son's friend tell my helper that he should watch out? No, actually, make that all of you. Zach did mention to us about that, however, this is not the sole purpose of what we came here for. So you don't want every vampire to live once we get the book? You won't get it. We just came here to discuss matters over the Wallace diary. Oh, so are you finally giving up? Letting the superior vampires take control and letting us have the Wallace diary? No, we are not. We never wanted the book until you had to get your hands on it for power. What do you want? You are wasting my time, leader. We have come to a conclusion as a whole species to let go of the diary, specifically to get rid of it. Get rid of it? You realize that you have not gotten every vampire's vote. We have actually, but you are right, not everyone. We need yours. Mine and my whole pack. You are their leader. You decide everything for them. You are their vote. If you think that I'm going to agree to burning the diary, you're crazy. I am going to retrieve that book, and if you do burn it, every single one of my friends will make sure you regret it. Why do you need the power? To prove yourselves as the best? There was never a need for that. Has the leader of werewolves come to the same conclusion? We don't know, but if he does, then there will be a change. Vampires and werewolves do not need more power than the other. I warned you. You shouldn't take it lightly. And I told you what could happen. You shouldn't take it lightly. What happened out there? They want to burn the diary. Get rid of any power or protection anyone could gain over someone else. They wanted your permission? They did, but they don't need it. I threatened them and said that there will be consequences if they get rid of it. Are we still going through with the other plan? It's our only way to ensure no destruction to the diary. They will know it's us. Not unless we make our own. Swap the decoy with the actual diary. Then, when they burn that diary, ours will still be intact. That could work. Alright then, it's settled. So, you had a very important question to ask me? Yes, I do. Dad, do you give us permission to destroy the diary of Scott Wallace? What? We know you took the diary. Please, don't lie. Mason, for the last time, I did not take the diary. How could you lie to me? And then I had to apologize? Mason, Scott Wallace told me that, Dad. Why would you bury it in Victoria's backyard? Did you want her to be the blame for it? You can't prove anything. Dad, it's time that power is taken down. It's time that we don't need to ask for the diary back every single year. Don't you want that? Mason, if you touch that diary... Dad, Scott Wallace signed his diary over to us. Sheriff Foster and Deputy Hudson both saw it with their own eyes. I don't care! Dad, it wasn't our diary to begin with. You just wanted the protection for yourself. You never told me that the yearly spell not only protected the diary, but the werewolves as well? What is wrong with that? We don't need protection, Dad. You know that. We have some of the most powerful werewolves on our side, ready to help. And now that I think about it, did that spell really protect us? It never protected us, did it? It protected you. Every year werewolves were hurt retrieving that diary back, but you were unharmed. You could care less about what's in the diary. As long as you have your own protection spell, you're happy. Mason, enough. Tell me it isn't true, Dad. Tell me. I am not letting go my one chance of immortality. I have been using that spell for years, Mason, and one little slip-up could cost me my protection, my ticket to living forever. What? I don't care about any of this. Why didn't you just tear the spell page out of the diary? For that specific spell to work, it needs to be inside of the diary. If you destroy that diary, there will be consequences. We are related to Scott Wallace. That gives me a ticket to use this diary for whatever I want. No, it doesn't. Have fun convincing your fellow werewolves about having no protection anymore. Hello?